You know that feeling? The one where you sit down at your screen, coffee in hand, ready to execute your plan, and something just feels off. The market is open. The ticker is moving. But it's not moving the way it's supposed to. Your setups appear, you take them, and they immediately turn against you. The stocks that used to trend smoothly are now spiking up and crashing down in the span of 30 seconds. The support levels that held for weeks are getting blown through like they were made of paper. And you sit there, staring at the screen, and you ask yourself that dangerous question, what am I doing wrong? I want to tell you something that might hurt a little bit. You might not be doing anything wrong. The market is just doing something different. And the difference between the trader who survives the next 6 months and the trader who quits in total frustration isn't their entry strategy. It isn't their indicator settings. It's their ability to adapt. Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. The market doesn't care about your rules. It doesn't care about what worked last Tuesday. It is a living, breathing, chaotic organism. And when it decides to change its behavior, you have 2 choices. You can keep swinging the same hammer and wonder why every nail is now a screw. Or you can learn to adapt. Today, we're going to talk about why your brain fights adaptability and how to rewire it to survive the tough times. Let's talk about the biology of your brain for a second, because this matters more than any chart pattern. When you first started trading, everything was hard. You were scared. You were uncertain. But over time, you found a strategy. You found a time of day that worked. You found a pattern you could recognize. And slowly, trading started to feel good, comfortable. You knew what to expect. Your brain loved this. Why? Because your brain is a lazy piece of machinery. Its number one job is to keep you alive, and the way it does that is by creating habits so you don't have to think. When you drive a car, you don't consciously think, okay, now turn the wheel 3 degrees left. You just do it. Your brain automated that to save energy. You did the same thing with your trading. You automated a winning condition. You saw this pattern. Maybe it was a moving average crossover. Maybe it was a breakout above a high. And you pressed the button. And because the market was in a phase that respected that pattern, you made money. You felt smart. Your brain released dopamine. It felt good. Now look at this. This is what the market looks like now. Your pattern is here. See it? There's your breakout. And then it immediately failed. There's your support level. Gone in 10 minutes. Your brain sees this, and it panics. Not because the trade is losing money, but because the pattern is broken. Your brain built a little house of comfort around that setup, and now the market just kicked the door in. This is the comfort zone trap. You get so used to making money a specific way that you start to believe that is the only way. You attach your identity to that method. So when it stops working, you don't think the market has changed. You think, I am failing. And what do humans do when they feel like they're failing? They try harder. They double down. They take the next signal with double the size because it has to work. It always works. That's you right now, running harder on a machine that isn't plugged in. You're exhausting yourself, burning mental energy, and going absolutely nowhere. Let me tell you about frustration. Frustration is the most dangerous emotion in trading. Fear makes you run. Greed makes you chase. But frustration? Frustration makes you stupid. It makes you say, fine, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to do something. And that something is usually revenge trading. That's how accounts get blown. Not by a bad loss. By the 10th loss in a row that made you so angry you threw out all your rules. The market changed. You didn't. That's the problem. So how do we fix this? How do we stop the bleeding and actually start to think clearly again? It starts with something that sounds simple but is brutally hard to do. Detachment. Specifically, detachment from your prediction. Look, I know you love being right. We all do. There's a rush that comes with calling the exact top or bottom and watching the market validate your genius. But here's the thing about tough market conditions. They exist specifically to punish people who need to be right. In a smooth, trending market, you can be a little bit wrong and still make money. Maybe you enter a bit early, but the trend carries you out. You get bailed out by the momentum. In a tough market, that doesn't happen. In a tough market, you have to be perfectly right to even break even. And none of us are perfectly right, are we? So the first step to adapting your psychology is to kill your need to be right. I want you to try something. It's going to feel uncomfortable. I want you to sit in front of your screen tomorrow, and before you do anything, I want you to say these words out loud. Say it. I have no idea what this market is going to do next. Feels terrible, doesn't it? It feels weak. It feels like giving up. But here's the paradox. Admitting you don't know is the only path to actually knowing what to do. Because when you accept that you don't know, you stop trying to force the market into your box. You stop buying the dip just because buying the dip made you money in January. You stop shorting the resistance because it's a level. Instead, you shut up, you open your eyes, and you let the market show you what it wants to do. Think of it like this. If you go to a doctor because your arm hurts, and the doctor immediately pulls out a saw and says, "I'm cutting it off," you'd run away, right? A good doctor runs tests. A good doctor asks questions. A good doctor diagnoses before he cuts. In trading, most of us are not doctors. We are murderers with scalpels. We see a chart, we see our pattern, and we stab it. We don't wait to see if the pattern is valid in this environment. We just stab. Detachment means putting the scalpel down. It means saying, "I have a theory, but let me watch for a while and see if the patient actually needs surgery." The market will tell you what to do if you shut up long enough to listen. Okay, enough about your brain. Let's talk about your hands. What do you actually do when the market is tough? You can't just sit there meditating all day. You need a plan. I want you to think of your trading plan like a piece of machinery. It has 3 main levers you can pull. In good times, you push these levers forward. In tough times, you pull them back. If you don't touch the levers, the machine breaks. Lever number 1, the size lever. This is the most important lever. It is the only lever that guarantees you stay in business. Let me ask you something. If you are a professional boxer and you get in the ring with an opponent who is faster and stronger than you expected, do you keep swinging with the same power, knowing you'll get knocked out? No. You cover up. You jab. You survive. When the market is tough, your edge is smaller. It's a fact. The random noise is eating into your profits. So why on earth would you risk the same amount of money? I see traders do this all the time. They're losing, so they think, "I need to make it back." They double their size. That's like falling out of a boat and deciding to put on a heavy suit of armor so you can swim better. It makes no sense. In a tough market, your goal is not to get rich. Your goal is to pay your bills, or break even, or honestly, just to lose less than everyone else. Cut your size. Cut it in half. Cut it by 75%. Trade 1 share. Trade a micro lot. Make your mistakes cheap. Because here's the secret. When the market turns back in your favor, you'll still be here. And the guys who doubled down, they're gone. They're broke. You win by surviving. Lever number 2, the frequency lever. This one hurts the ego the most. In a good market, you might see 10 amazing setups a week. You feel productive. You feel busy. You're in the game. In a tough market, those 10 setups turn into 2. The problem is, your brain is still conditioned to see 10. You stare at the screen for 8 hours, waiting, and because you're bored, you start seeing things. You start taking the 3rd best setup, the 4th best setup. This kind of looks like my setup. Stop it. You have to adapt your frequency. You have to be okay with doing nothing. In fact, you have to learn to love doing nothing. If you are a hunter and you go into the woods, you don't just shoot at every rustle in the bushes. You wait. You wait for the deer to walk into the clearing. If the deer aren't coming, you don't start shooting squirrels. You pack up and go home. Here's a radical idea for you. If the market is tough, turn off the screen. Go for a walk. Read a book. Spend time with your family. The market will be there tomorrow. It will be there next week. The hardest thing to do in trading is nothing. But sometimes, nothing is the most productive thing you can do. Protect your mental capital. If you force trades, you will lose. It's not a question. It's a guarantee. Lever number 3, the time frame lever. This one is a little trickier, but it's a lifesaver. When the lower time frames are choppy and noisy, it's usually because there's a disagreement. The little traders are fighting each other, pushing price around with no conviction. But if you zoom out, if you look at the bigger picture, sometimes the chaos resolves. If you're a 5-minute scalper and you're getting torn apart, look at the 1-hour chart. Look at the 4-hour chart. What's happening there? Is there a clear trend? Is price respecting a major level? I'm not saying you have to become a swing trader overnight, but sometimes stepping back and observing the higher time frame can calm you down. It reminds you that the chaos is just noise. It puts things in perspective. It also helps you see potential zones where the market might actually decide what to do. Maybe you stop trading the 5-minute breakouts and just wait for a reaction at a daily level. You're still you, but you've adapted your lens. I want to leave you with a mental image. It's one I come back to every time I feel the market slipping away from me. Think about a caterpillar. The caterpillar spends its whole life crawling, eating, moving forward. That's all it knows. But then, something happens. It's time for it to change. And what does it do? Does it try harder to crawl? Does it run faster? Does it fight the branch? No. It builds a cocoon. And it waits. Inside that cocoon, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. To the outside world, it looks dead. It looks like it gave up. But inside, a miracle is happening. It is completely breaking itself down, cell by cell, and rebuilding into something entirely new. That's you right now. You're in the cocoon. The old way of trading, the old you, is dying. And it's uncomfortable. It's dark. It feels like nothing is happening. But you have to trust the process. You have to protect your capital, protect your mind, and wait. You don't need to be a butterfly today. You just need to survive the cocoon. The losing trader hears that the market is tough and thinks, I need to work harder. I need to find a new indicator. I need to try more. The winning trader hears that the market is tough and thinks, I need to be smaller. I need to be patient. I need to wait for my environment to return. Look, I don't know exactly what your screen looks like right now. I don't know if you're up, down, or just treading water. But I know this, the market is going to keep changing. It's going to keep throwing curveballs. And the only thing you can control is your response. Are you going to fight it? Are you going to get frustrated and angry and blow up? Or are you going to adapt? Are you going to cut your size, lower your frequency, zoom out, and just wait? The choice is yours. But remember, the market doesn't care. It's just being the market. It's up to you to be the trader who can handle it. If this video hit home, if you're tired of the emotional roller coaster, hit that subscribe button. We dig deep into the psychology here. We don't talk about moving averages. We talk about what's moving inside you. This is Losing Trader's Psychology. Keep your charts close, but keep your sanity closer. I'll see you in the next one.